Hello and welcome to our new lecture, that is creating dimension and measure in SAP Analytics Cloud. In this video or lecture, we will understand what dimensions and measures are. We will learn how to identify and create them step by step. And finally, we will apply the knowledge to build models and stories. So let's begin. First of all, the most important question is, what are dimensions and measures? So dimensions are categorical fields, that is product, region, date, etc. Whereas measure are the quantitative values for aggregation, for example revenue, quantity, net profit, sales, and so on. It means that the figures or the integer or the numeric values in every database or any records are the measures of this entity, and the dimensions like product, region, and in case of sales, there are also the customers and customer group, customer category, and so on. These are the categorical fields which describe the data very well. So what is the purpose? So we have defined measure and dimension because it shows how SEC interpreted and visualize data. In this way, we can easily define, we can easily categorize, we can easily understand, we can easily visualize data basis on the different dimension in which we required our reporting. This means the list of measures or the list of dimensions are very important for creating any sort of analysis, for any sort of models, because based on that models we will create a story, and based on that stories we will make the rapid decision which will give very positive impact on any business. So let's begin. Step number 1, we have to first import or create dataset. For this we will go to the model, and then we will select the data source. For example, it will be Excel, it is CSV, SAP HANA, etc. So for the sake of example, we will import a CSV files data into our SAP Analytics Cloud. We also did in my previous lecture as you go through it. So these are the things which we must have to do for importing the data. Let's move on. In step number 2, we have open data preparation panel. So when we import our data, the open data preparation model, the data preparation model will be automatically open, and we have to perform some step in this stage. So when we face that the screen of data preparation, the SAP auto detects dimension and measures. It will show the dimension and measures separately. First of all, don't worry, we will do practically later in this video all the things, how to create dimension and measure, how to manage dimension and measure, and so on. So review, for at that stage we have to just review the types of the columns, what the SAP Analytics Cloud suggests. For example, we have to check that product is in the dimension category, is in the dimension section, or the revenue or these type of quantitative columns are in the measure section or not. So this is a very important step. We have to finalize our dimension and measures. The next step, we will have to review and change the type. If we want to change the type of any column, we have to change its data type by using the options provided in the data modeler. On the right panel, we have to select set as dimension or set as measure. Every dimension and every measure have the option on the right side, but we can convert it. Either it is if it is dimension, we can convert it to the measure, or if it is a measure, we can convert it as a dimension. So based on the business requirement, we can do this, adjust their type if needed. So as we have discussed, if we want to change the type of any column, like if the employee ID is present in our data as an integer, so we have to convert it into the text, into our text, because we don't need to do any sort of calculation on this field, that is employee ID. So in this way, we will clean our data, and we make some important step to finalize the modeling. On the step number 4, we have to rename and format our columns. So this is not the necessary. This is for renaming of the column is not the necessary step, but it is important for the clarity of data, for the clarity of modeling. So first of all, let's review all the column name, and you can rename any column name according to the requirement. So we can also format numbers into like decimals, currency, and so on. We can also change the data type of any column according to the requirement. So the SAP Analytics Cloud gives a lot of option, including this vital option. So use gear icon for advanced formatting. We can also do advanced formatting on columns by using the gear icon. And on the step number 5, we will click on the create model, and confirm all dimension measures. So the SAP Analytics Cloud will ask for the model name. You can save, you can change you can suggest, you can assign whatever the model name you want very easily. And on the step number 6, we will use this model into our story. So we have to go to the story and then click on the create story. Use dimensions for grouping and filter, and use measure for charts and aggregation. So then we will select any chart, any table. So in the stage where we have to select measure, we can select our desired measure, and for the grouping and for the filter, we will select our desired dimension into the dimension section. So what are the pro tips? You should always use SAC's auto detection. So it's very important to manually check our measure and column name and its alignment into a particular section, measure and dimension. So the next tip is use calculated measure. So for the sake of calculation, for example, you want to calculate the profit. So you should do this calculation at this stage of modeling, because if we do a lot of calculation on the later step, this will affect the performance of the modeling. So you should calculate, you should create a calculated measure and apply the required formulation on that measure at this step. So for example, if you want to calculate the profit by using the revenue and cost columns, you can use the revenue minus cost formula at this stage. Leverage time dimension for trend. So the time dimension is also plays a vital role for analyzing the data, especially for the time series or trends. So we have to check, we have to assign we have to assign the leverage. We have to leverage the time dimension according to the requirement. So it's very important to analyze, to manage the time dimension. Last, if we summarize our lecture, we have cleared that what are the dimension of the categories, types, products and so on, and measure other values like profit, sales quantity, and profit margin, profit percentage, and so on. We can easily define the SAC data preparation panel. We can easily perform a vital and very important step in the SAC Analytics Cloud in this SAP Analytics Cloud modeling. So SAP Analytics Cloud provides a very powerful tool in modelings. So we can easily build our desired model by using this tool. Last but not step, last but not least, essential step for meaningful analytics. We have taken, if we want to get the meaningful analysis, meaningful analytics, we have to perform all the steps of modeling very carefully. So this is a advice for all the learners uh, of SAP Analytics Cloud while doing modeling. So at this step we summarize, we close this lecture. We at this step we are ending this lecture, and in the next lecture we will do the live practical on this. We will do so in the next lecture we will perform some practical on this topic, so then you will easily understand what are the measure and dimension, how we can manage these the measure and dimension in the field of modeling. So till then, bye bye.